Somebody say something about Long Island. What do you think about? You think about money? You think about Pharaoh? You think about the #1 wrestling show in Long Island? That's what Tommy Wildfire Rich thinks about. So, ladies and gentlemen, as a good friend of mine on Georgia Championship Wrestling said to me one time, he said, ladies and gentlemen, don't miss it. Be there.
Yeah, baby.
Yes, I will be riding high.
All right, welcome to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, produced out of Indie Music TV here in Ronkonkoma, Long Island. This is Monty and the Pharaoh. At the board is our super producer, Matty Ice. Matty, how are you, friend?
Doing great as always.
We missed you immensely.
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 There you go.
To the right is the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Pharaoh. Jimmy, why do you always look to the right when I say to the right?
Because you say star of the show. I want to know when he gets in here. I'd like to say hi to him. Oh, you mean me? Hi.
Did you miss me?
Yeah, I don't even know where I am right now. Have we been here before? It feels I'm forgetting.
I feel like we've been gone
It's been a
long
while.
time. So if anyone didn't know, after our show with Money Inc., the old man over here, Monty, caught the coronavirus and was put out for about 2 weeks or so. Thank God I didn't have any symptoms. I went through it smoothly, but we had to cancel the Vampiro interview.
Yeah. Yep. The
And-
important thing is you're okay, but boy, that was bizarre.
Yeah, it was.
Well, we made it. We're
Right?
good.
We're good?
Good. Well done. You survived.
I survived.
And I wasn't even worried. I figured the Monty result would come in, so...
Well,
Good.
I did take the pink stuff while I was in the military, so...
Pink stuff?
Yeah.
What was the pink stuff?
Well, you wanted a
I didn't-
10-second story?
Sure, I didn't
This is
start
a-
it. Wait,
this is a true story.
Sounds interesting, the pink
Legitimately true
stuff.
story.
Make you see things? The pink stuff?
So, get to the military.
Okay.
Before we go to basic training,
Yeah.
they had lines of people, to get checked by doctors and things like that.
Okay. Yeah.
They pulled me and another gentleman into a studio like this. This is
Like-
a true story.
Like this.
And it had 2 spotlights, black. They open up a case, and there's a glowing pink liquid. This is a true story.
Hell?
They made us drink it,
Yeah.
and then they shot it into our arms.
What was it?
I have no idea. After that,
What?
I've never been really sick a day in my life except for a massive heart attack, but I don't know. I guess they didn't protect against that.
Well, what the...
Jeff out there says Pepto. No, it wasn't Pepto, Jeff.
Kool-Aid?
802s, thank you. I'm glad I'm okay too. Very,
up, 802?
very scary, my friend.
Hey. Good Lord.
But we're glad to be back
Yeah.
and be back with a vengeance.
There you go.
So while I was
Right.
incapacitated, I worked from home.
Right.
I watched a lot of TV, dude, and I got to tell you,
What is this?
I saw a documentary called Life According to Sam.
What, Darnold from the Jets?
No,
Because that's a tragedy. but
Darnold, Sam Darnold.
Go on.
So it's about a family's son who has this rare and fatal disease called progeria.
Oh.
The average age of death is 13 years old.
13.
There's no treatment, no cure, and Dr. Leslie Gordon and Dr. Burns are set on changing this. It's a documentary when this young guy, Sam, 16 years old,
Okay.
and it's about a year of his life. Dude, I was crying like a baby, dude.
He stretched it to 16 at this point? I thought that...
He passed at 17 years old.
Wow.
And
Boy, you really watch uplifting program when you're at home trying to
Well, I got to tell you,
This is what you watched?
but
This is not uplifting.
hold. It's not about just being uplifting. Here's a guy.
Bro, I cried like a baby. It actually says that here, folks, right here. Okay, it's about a guy.
Chris Patty, the owner of Indie Music, we're glad to be back. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This guy knows his kid has a death sentence, and boy, did he look at life
oh, boy.
with such beautiful eye. It was amazing.
Is this
Farrell.
like a Brian song kind of thing?
Almost, yeah.
Because that movie will make anybody cry who might have a pulse. That movie's rough. Brian Piccolo, Brian's song from the Bears when that guy passed away, he was dying
Yeah,
of
but
something
the
too.
dude was an NFL player. I mean, he got to live his life. He got married. He had
lived
children.
to 20-something and died.
But he had a whole family. This young kid
All right,
is growing into an old man at 2 years old.
Terribly sad.
He looks like an old man at 2 years old.
Wow, that's not what?
Yeah, it's called progeria. It's like
Oh my
so there's
God,
a
he got old
protein
before his time.
Right,
Wow,
yes.
that's messed up.
You got to watch it, dude.
That is messed
Jeff
up.
Rumplick out there says I look thinner than you. Look at that. I guess I'm looking skinnier than you right now.
Don't think that that's the case. I mean, you look thinner, but thinner than the Pharaoh? No. Stop.
So, in more news, Marjorie Taylor Greene says Maxine Waters incited riots calling for her expulsion from Congress. Greene accused the Democrat of inciting riots in Minnesota while pointing out that Waters represents California's 43rd congressional district. Thoughts on that? I know you're a big fan of
Yeah.
Maxine Waters.
You know what? I'm not a fan of anybody who's a leader who talks that way. Inciting riots is not cool. I don't care what side you're on. I don't care who you root for. I don't care. That is poor leadership. That's some scary crap, and I don't care what side you're on. I don't want my leaders talking like that. Do you? Seriously.
No, I don't.
Seriously.
I think it's an embarrassment.
You've got to be kidding me.
I think it's an embarrassment, and I think...
You got to be kidding me.
Well, I'm going to be quite honest.
It goes both ways. I've seen this behavior on
But
the
that's a
other side,
problem.
too.
Now it's
Stop already.
tilting one way where
Right.
it's acceptable for one side
Of
to
course.
demand the heads,
That's
while the
media.
other side can't. And if anyone wants to weigh in there,
That's media, and don't tell me it's not, because the media is definitely 70-30, basically, with their opinions. Probably higher at this point and climbing as to which way they go.
well, if it doesn't get worse, LeBron James posted and deleted a tweet saying "You're next" about the police officer who fatally shot Maya K. Bryant. LeBron James deleted a tweet saying "You're next" about the police officer who fatally shot Maya K. Bryant. 16-year-old Bryant was shot 4 times by Officer Nicholas Reardon of Columbus, Ohio on Tuesday. James's tweet appeared to be a reference to the conviction of Derek Chauvin of the murder of George Floyd, which, first, you want to weigh in on Mr. Chauvin? I think I'm saying it right, about his...
the police officer involved in the Floyd situation?
Yes.
Well, I mean, one way or the other. Look, I do agree with the verdict. I do believe that he should be held accountable for the death of that person. However, threatening a riot before a decision has been made judicially and being allowed to go public and having the media spread it and all these other things, that's bullying and threatening. It might as well be a Tony Soprano move.
Well, what do you feel about LeBron
You know?
James?
I strongly suggest that this decision goes the right way, because after all, you've got a family to feed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're basically, it's very violent talk. I thought it was actually very, very plainly worded, too. It's funny how when the last president was in the White House, he was never even that plain with his language. And he was murdered for his suggestiveness, and that... Understandably so in certain cases.
Do you think...
But my God, it's got to be both ways. Isn't there anybody in the middle who realizes that both sides are extremely insane with what's going on right now, and something in the middle has to pull it back to sanity? This is insane. We can't have our leaders acting like this on either side. Now I'm going to get my pressure up. This is wrong. and they have to be
But
called
wait a minute.
out. You can't do this.
But let me ask you something.
But they're doing it.
An athlete like LeBron James, going to Twitter,
right?
He's got this, again, 1 billion followers.
Yep.
Without even understanding or knowing the story.
Why do you think he pulled it down? He pulled it down because somebody actually had the brains to tell him, hey, dude, you ever hear that old thing, innocent until proven guilty? There's got to be a trial. You can't talk this way.
Well, in case
you have to let things play themselves out. You can't do this.
In case anyone doesn't know,
you're a basketball player.
Who
cares what you think?
Reardon's body camera footage played at Wednesday's news conference showed him approaching the driveway of the residence where a group of girls were fighting. The footage showed Bryant lunging at another female with a knife seconds before the police arrived.
That sounds peaceful. I don't know what police are supposed to do anymore, and I haven't seen the video, so I guess I'm not entitled to say shit, according to some people, but I don't even know why you would want to be a police officer anymore. I'm not sure why you would want to be, I actually heard something really insane coming out of somebody else. They may have been from the BLM movement, where they said that knife fights are perfectly normal amongst teenagers.
Hold on, I just want to...
And police should just stay out of it and let them handle it themselves. Is that how you want your kids to handle each other in the neighborhood? What is going on here?
Joe Shipley says LeBron James should be in jail. 802 Blue says, damn, you from Cleveland or something? GJ says, proves that they actually don't care about lives lost. They just get more attention and not.
Yeah, well, they're definitely, hey, if people don't like this, I'm sorry.
And Joe Shipley says, oh boy, I'm scared. And he should be scared.
It's getting crazy.
We all should be scared.
But I actually resent how they're using George Floyd, the man himself. They're using him as a prop for their own violent, see-through agenda. And it's see-through. It really is. And it doesn't matter what side you come from. Any rational person should be able to tell that a movement like the BLM is dangerous. They're dangerous. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That stuff is dangerous. There's some really dangerous people there. Okay? Some of them might be good-hearted people, but you cannot have this kind of talk from leadership, from any movement of any kind, much less our Congress, our elected officials, in suggesting violence. And look, I know that you lean more towards Republican, and in some ways I do too.
Sure.
But we were both, when it happened with the Capitol, we were not happy with that. We were not happy with the suggestiveness of it. We don't think that Trump was an angel in the least in any of that. We called him out for such said things. So we are being fair. All right? If you're a lunatic and you're gonna push a violent agenda, you should not be one of our elected officials. They're supposed to keep us together and sane and safe. We can't have this kind of behavior. Someone in the middle has got to come up. I don't know where you're going to come from. I don't know who you are yet, but someone's got to come and save this country and bring us back to sanity, because the extremes on both sides are killing us. Okay? That's the Pharaoh's political point of view. I'm sorry, guys. That's how I feel about it. That's that.
Well, we'd like
and LeBron James shut up. And by the way, another reason he took it down, the "You're next," he got a call from Goldberg.
Well, that's what one of the
and
fans
it was like,
said.
Excuse
he said
me.
He thought he was Goldberg for a second.
There you go. Because Goldberg was going to go over and spear him.
Isn't it Who's Next?
What? No, You're Next.
You're Next?
You're Next. Well, it's Who's Next, but Goldberg likes to look in the camera and go, You're Next, when he names this next guy. Roman Reigns, You're Next. So there you go, I don't know.
Reardon, you're next.
I don't know. LeBron James had to pull that down because I'm sure he was told there's a thing called a process, and you can't do this.
How about to have some social conscience too, and let the law be the law, please.
Can we?
Anyway, we'd like to thank the band that sings the theme song for Monty and the Pharaoh, Wisteria Hall. Our own Jimmy Farrell, along with his partner Bart Griggs, make up the band Wisteria Hall. Wisteria Hall sings such great songs as our theme song, Riding High, In My Dreams, This Life, Not Far Behind. Here Comes the Rains, and you can find their music on the Wisteria Hall YouTube page. So go over there, give them a little like, give them a little subscription. Spotify, iTunes, and Reverb Nation.
Oh, and by the way, while you were, locked away for a little while watching a lot of television, this left Bart and I with less work to do on the show. So we started watching a little classic Godzilla stuff, and Bart's going to get his official Godzilla card in the mail. He saw War of the Gargantuas today.
Okay.
One of our favorites as a kid.
Yep.
Your thoughts on the days of rubber suits compared to CGI real fast?
It's kind of like watching some old school matches. I love them in my memory.
Sure.
But when I watch them again, I go, what the fuck am I watching right now?
no.
Oh, I dropped an F-bomb. But
There's a
if you want to talk about War of the Gargantuans,
Come on, that's fun.
I will tell you, wonderful, wonderful memories from that movie.
Yeah.
And we were talking over dinner about social conscious, and it's two enemies, basically black and white, I guess. In this case, green and brown.
Right, the brown one was good,
Fighting,
and the green one was evil.
and fighting leads to
And they
nothing.
were brothers.
And fighting leads to nothing but death.
Yeah.
Because in the end, they both die.
Yeah, they both became...
They kill each other.
Yeah, they both became pea soup. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
If you didn't notice, you're watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty DeFaro, only seen here out of Indie Music TV. You can watch us on the Monty DeFaro YouTube page, our Facebook Live page. Hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor. You can watch us on Twitch TV, the Monty DeFaro page. We're also on New York Cable, channel 115, every Tuesday from 7 to 7:30. And for early risers, Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6:30. And for our late night dwellers on channel 20 from 2 a.m. to 2:30. I think I got that time right. Well, we're going to get to wrestling. We'll be right back after this commercial break with our tribute to the ninth wonder of the world, Chyna.
M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Sport and non-sport cards, wrestling items, autographed items. We buy, sell, and trade. M&J Video Games and Collectibles, located at 1049 Queen Street, Southington, Connecticut. Call us at 1-860-479-9223 or 860-93-GAMES. M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Oh, what's up, Mike?
Hey, Jimmy, what's going on?
Yeah, nothing much.
You know, Jimmy, I love this country.
Oh.
I love to buy made in America material. And I love to buy my artwork at TAG, T-A-A-G, Made in America, 14 East Broadway, Port Jefferson, New York, 11717. The shop at the corner. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty DeFaro, only seen here out of Indie Music TV in Long Island, New York. Before we get to Chyna, you know, we had a little gap between seeing each other. We missed a lot of stuff. One of the main things is WrestleMania. Thoughts on WrestleMania? You want to weigh in? Tell me what you thought. Were you happy? Were you sad? What are your thoughts?
Solid show. 2 nights. I thought night 1 was better than night 2, but solid overall. Good matches. Just good. Nice to see people in the crowd. Interesting booking decision. Cesaro over Seth Rollins. I thought that was interesting.
Right.
They say that they don't give the fans what they want, but I see plenty of exceptions in this case. Roman Reigns, I loved what they did with Roman Reigns. Were you surprised that he squashed them in such convincing fashion with a double pin? That was very interesting.
Was I surprised? Yes. Did I think it was the right thing to do? Yes.
I think so. I mean, how much mileage were they planning on getting out of Edge anyway? I don't know what their game plan overall is for Edge, but I've heard Daniel Bryan is already thinking like that might have been his last. He may just retire soon. It's smelling like that. And that's okay, I guess. He's still got enough left in the tank, though. I don't know what would make him want to. He just main evented at WrestleMania. What's he so down about?
Well,
Sounds like he's burnt out. I don't know. Thoughts on Lashley? Lashley dominated. That was good.
I thought the overall card was good.
Sheamus, how about Sheamus winning the title? Were you surprised?
No, I think it was
interesting.
I don't think there was a ton of
Sheamus.
I don't think there was a
that.
yeah.
Vince loved Sheamus.
I think there was a ton of not a ton of surprises.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a pretty solid show overall, but my expectations were low. That helps sometimes when you're really not expecting much, and then it turns out to be decent. It was decent.
Yeah, it was decent.
That's pretty much it. They have nothing to be ashamed of. It was solid.
All right, well, let's get to the subject on hand. Last Saturday, we were going to do the Vampiro show.
Yeah.
And before we had set up a complete video for Chyna because it was 5 years of her passing. Let's have at it. Let's talk about Joni Laura, sorry, and let's talk about Chyna.
Chyna, man. Well, and I was thinking about this before we came in. When it comes to Chyna, she's in such rarefied air. The more and more I think about what she was and who she was to the business and the ground she broke, outside of Fabulous Moolah, and I would say Trish Stratus and Lita, there's nobody else that even deserves to be on, in some ways on the level of impact that she had in this business. She had tremendous impact. I always took her so seriously. And then I was thinking about this too. Of all the members of DX, despite the obvious fact that Triple H and Shawn were the battery and they were the two biggest members, I actually, in my mind, put Chyna above every single other member. Chyna had that much impact to me as a viewer. I took Chyna as like, I guess if you had to put them in a pecking order of attraction, sure, the New Age Outlaws were great when they were separate and they were their tag team, but when DX was all standing in that ring, I felt like, of course, it's Triple H and Shawn, but there's Chyna. And Chyna's star, to me, as a viewer, shone greater than Road Dogg, shone greater than Billy Gunn during that time period. And I'm not disrespecting any X-Pac. I'm not disrespecting any of them. They were all great. That's why they're all in the Hall of Fame together. But Chyna was such a magnet for the viewer. I always was fascinated watching her. I would never turn her off when she was on the screen. I thought she was great. I thought she could beat my ass. That always helps.
Sure.
I thought she could beat my ass. I thought that she could take out half the locker room. You know, she broke ground. She was the first Intercontinental Champion and the only one, I believe, to this day that was a woman. She held it twice. I think they tried to take away her co-holding with Chris on the record book so we can write Vince another letter that'll throw in the garbage.
I think they show us
Not
the second
sure.
one. That's a tricky one. You
Reading
might,
some
yeah,
conflicting
very
things
interesting
about that.
Okay.
You know, she was also in the Royal Rumble, for God's sakes. You know, the first woman to participate in the Royal Rumble, and who wouldn't believe she could have come in and tossed guys out left and right? She was also the first woman in King of the Ring tournament. She had individual wins over Triple H, over Kurt Angle, over Chris Jericho, and over Jeff Jarrett. My God, you know, an incredible legacy. And from what we hear, you know, a very nice person. And it breaks my heart because I never met her. I think she would have definitely come on this show.
Oh, without a doubt.
Definitely think we would have had her on this show.
Oh, absolutely.
And she was very real and very sensitive, and I can relate to that because, you know, I'm a little bit sensitive too.
Absolutely.
You know, there's no secret there, you know.
How did you feel Triple H did her?
You know,
What I mean by that, if everybody knows, they know the story that they were dating and then
they
he
were
went off
dating,
with Stephanie,
and then
right?
he found Stephanie. Of
Sure.
course, they found each other. You know what? I'm going to answer this as real as I can. I wasn't there, okay? And it's easy to say that, but that's the facts, guys. We all try to surmise, like, you know, recently A-Rod and his other famous half have broken up, and everybody's got an opinion. How can you even have an opinion? You don't know these people,
Right.
you know? So I like to think of it this way. It was never going to turn out okay for Joni in that situation, one way or the other, okay? I don't think that Triple H had a game plan written out. I'm gonna seduce the boss's daughter, and we're gonna run off, and I'm gonna get the company, and I don't think that's how any of this happened. I think that circumstances happened, and they started falling for each other, and there was the complicated issue of Joni, and you knew that one way or the other, especially once those two were together, Triple H and Steph, that Joni couldn't continue working there, nor would she want to. So I don't know what went on behind the
But do you
scenes.
think that led to her downfall? Like
I don't think it helped
and
her.
everything?
She's a very sensitive person, and she had worked hard to get. Well, she was trained by Killer Kowalski. She loved Triple H. She loved him, so it must have been horrible for her. And no, I don't think it helped her at all. But do I condemn Triple H for being a bad human being? No, I don't know what his feelings were during all of that.
You fall out of love
What
with
if
somebody,
he
right?
legitimately and Joni had issues with pills and stuff, and that continued to happen after they broke up and everything like that. So it's hard to say.
See, this is what I find hard to believe.
You know,
though.
it's heartbreaking one way or the other, but I ain't judging any of them. I refuse.
But everybody knows that Triple H is pretty straight and narrow, didn't mess around with drugs. So I have to believe.
I don't know. I don't know. What his deal
Well,
was.
from what everything I've read,
right,
okay.
he's not known to
So
be
I have
any
to
of that
believe
agree.
that he would not have stood to be around someone that was getting high. So my worry, again, not Triple H's
A lot
fault.
of his friends, though, did it, and you don't see him stopping them.
Yeah, but you're in a romantic relationship with
Yeah.
someone, and you're
Yeah.
watching them do that. It's a little
Oh,
different,
no, I
right?
understand what you mean by that. No, I understand.
All
I
I'm
understand.
saying
It was
is,
a difficult situation.
You know, I'm very pro WWE.
Of course.
I really maybe had wished when this went down and she was having such a hard time with it, maybe they could have done something
should've.
different to help her.
Try, do something, And it's also heartbreaking that she passes away, and then they put her in the Hall of Fame and say nice things about her. Why does this always happen? Why should this have to happen?
802 said she
wanted-
was the first woman to wrestle in Japan against guys.
There you go. Yep, she went over there in 2002 approximately. That's true.
Dan Crusader says Chyna got on the cover twice.
Of Playboy?
Yeah.
Yes.
So here's a tricky one for me.
Absolutely.
And let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
When it first came out,
What?
the Playboy.
The first one?
Yes.
Okay.
And we even talked about One Night in China also, right?
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
Now that she's passed, is it
Yeah.
impossible to even look at those things anymore? Not that I'm going to watch One Night in China, but some Playboy magazines I would look at. But
I don't see why you would.
I wouldn't.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying. I could not even imagine.
did
I wouldn't feel right.
Did we look at it when it came out at the time?
Of course.
Damn right we did.
Damn straight.
And she looked fantastic.
She looked
When did
great.
by the way, when does she get credit for that? I mean, she comes in as the muscle of DX and then poses for Playboy. Boy, talk about.
Without a doubt.
I mean, did you see the list of TV shows she was on too over the years? She was made appearances on.
Oh,
some
absolutely.
Wow. So when I put her in the room with Moolah, or I put her in the room with what Trish and Lita did to change the in-ring ability of women and take the respect barrier a whole nother level up, Chyna is one of the absolute greats. In the women's division alone. But you know what? Overall, she's greater than most of the guys as far as her it factor. Period.
Maria Davis, welcome
it
back. I see that you had surgery on your thumb. I hope all is
On her
well.
thumb.
That's what it looks like.
Oh.
And I'm glad you're back, and I'm
better.
glad you're doing well. So later on, before Chyna becomes the first Intercontinental Champion, she claims when she won the belt from Jeff Jarrett that Jarrett demanded $300,000 from Vince McMahon in order to lose the title cleanly to a woman. His contract had expired on October 16th, and he was therefore not contractually obligated to appear at the pay-per-view. If he had not appeared, the WWF would have been criticized for false advertising. Thoughts on that?
You know what I think? I think to myself sometimes, don't you think it's a miracle that Jarrett was put in the Hall of Fame with all the different times he has screwed Vince McMahon?
It's a really good
How
point.
the hell does Jeff Jarrett even get in the Hall of
Wow,
Fame?
great point.
Holding up the freaking match for $300,000. Where's the indie marks to scream about that injustice?
Yeah.
He didn't want to lose to a woman. Oh my God!
Well, you could kind of understand that.
No, I can't.
though.
No,
Why?
I can't. Not when it's China. No, I can't. Look, you know what? For a guy who's supposed to be so old school, I'm reasonable. If China walks in the room, my money's on China versus me.
You had Ken Patera on that couch say the
Ken
Intercontinental
Patera benched 550
But hold on.
something. Of course he's going to snap.
quoted on this show
Yeah.
that the Intercontinental title was ruined
Right.
when the day China won that belt.
I understand where Mr. Patera is coming from. I understand that. But again, I have to tell you, okay, who do you think you would take more seriously? Let's use a wrestler from today, who I actually have a lot of respect for.
Go ahead.
Sami Zayn walks into the ring. Chyna walks into the ring. The two of them have a stare down. Who do you think is walking out of the ring with black eyes? Sami Zayn.
Okay.
He's walking out of the ring with black eyes.
Fair enough.
Wait, that's how I see that, But I guess I'm an equal opportunity ass kicker. I don't care what's going on downstairs. If you're, I mean, China was, oh my God. I don't know. That's
James
my
China
opinion.
was legit and
Yeah.
sexy. No doubt.
Yeah.
That's why we're talking about her now.
Yeah. I
Huge
wouldn't wanna face
influence
her.
on the industry.
Absolutely.
Huge
Oh my
influence on the industry.
Absolutely.
Do you remember when she came out on TNA, right?
Yeah.
And she just came walking out?
Yeah.
I was so excited. She disappeared literally right after that,
Yeah.
if you remember that. But
You know what's sad?
Go ahead.
Oddly enough, the two biggest females of the Attitude Era, the ones who sold the most,
right.
Sable and Chyna, both are pretty much banned from memory by the company. When
Yeah.
you think about it, I
Yeah.
mean, Chyna just got in through the back door with DX, but Sable too. Sable's on the curse word list, and those were the two biggest female stars of that particular time period, in my opinion. You know,
Fair
who's
enough.
bigger than Sable? Sable's
No,
huge.
Not much.
Oh my God.
How about you remember when Kat was with was like
Cat.
mini Chyna? How awesome was that, dude?
Oh, the cat. The cat just brought Jerry Lawler nothing but headaches, man. Oy, that's a bad memory.
You want to weigh in on Jericho being co-champion with Chyna?
I loved all of that stuff. And see, that's the brilliance, by the way, and the team player that Chris Jericho is.
That's why
Here's
he's
Jeff Jarrett. Give me $300,000. And here's Chris Jericho going, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. You know, this is the guy who wanted to put Goldberg over. You know? Chris Jericho gets it. He gets it.
Well, let me get. You know, that's a
Program
really
with Chyna
legitimate
was
point.
fantastic. Chris Jericho gets it to this day. That's why when I still turn on AEW, I'm turning it on to watch him because he's great.
Right.
He's one of my favorites ever.
Right.
Ever! He's the best.
Right.
He gets the business, and that program with Chyna was awesome. Just like Eddie got the business too. Eddie's stuff with Chyna, Mamacita. Oh my God! When you think about how entertaining, how funny, and how entertaining Eddie and Chyna were together, it almost makes me want to cry because there's nothing like that today. If we could just have a few of those kinds of talents on pro, wouldn't it make the show just fly by with talent like that? And I wonder how much of that they were allowed to improv. I wonder how much Eddie was allowed to improv with Chyna, you know, or how much was pre-written.
Everybody understands that's clearly probably the biggest issue with wrestling nowadays. And you know, I shared with you while I was away that I you know, as a WWE guy, I'm in fear of AEW because they're going that route where they're letting the talent, you know, do their thing, not too much,
Right.
but letting them do their thing.
I thought that you would be calling me immediately last night when your hero in AEW actually got to get a little physical with Sting, Luchasaurus.
Well, I'll do you one better.
Your
on that.
buddy Luchasaurus pissed Sting off.
I'll do you one better.
What?
I thought that Jungle Boy match
Yeah.
was
Jungle Boy-
off the hook.
Dude, Jungle Boy can go.
Darby Allin Jungle Boy
Darby Allin
was
can go.
off the hook.
No surprise.
No, but I mean,
no surprise.
I was like,
The
this is a
physical
great
ability
match.
That's because the physical ability of those two guys is top. You know, but as you're watching it, where was the old Mike going? These guys are two surfers.
That's fun. Great point.
Where did that go?
I
How did
kept
that-
on trying to drift into that, like, okay, but they're
But
all
they're that
small
good.
guys. But I was like,
they were that good.
They're how fluid they
That's
were. I'm
cool.
like,
That's
it
cool.
reminded me of Dynamite Kid,
Okay.
Tiger Mask.
Sure.
Okay,
I can see
listen, I'm
that.
not comparing it to that match,
no, but
okay,
I can-
but
I understand
but it
what
had
you're
that
getting at.
fluid
Listen,
feel to it.
I don't know how many people out there have even seen this match. I'm sure some of you have, but the greatest thing I ever saw as far as a physical contest was the hour match. I think it was the third match between Omega and Okada over in Japan. I am telling you, that's like watching a movie, that 60-minute encounter. You will be exhausted by the end of that, and that's why Kenny Omega is what he is, and Okada, that's Japan's secret. That's America's loss.
Well,
Okada is one of the best.
Here's the biggest thing, though, Farrell, that got me involved in that.
Yeah.
I'm invested in Jungle Boy. I'm invested in Luchasaurus.
Jungle Boy can go.
I like both those wrestlers.
Luchasaurus is
And
a big
I don't
dude.
like Darby Allin.
Right.
So on both ends,
Right. Does
AEW's got something going
Darby Allin, like, is he pulling a little bit of like a Punk popularity, like a CM Punk
little
popularity? Because when I look at him, I go to myself, what is it about him? There's something that's working there. He's not the biggest guy. You used to say this about Punk. You know, I think Punk's quite a bit bigger.
quite
than
bit
him,
bigger.
though. You know, it's funny how they're getting smaller, but their pushes are getting bigger.
well,
It's
you
very
know what?
weird. Very weird.
You know what? In my opinion, there wasn't a Wednesday night war. I'll say that straight. But I will
Right.
tell you, in my opinion now, there's a Raw war going on because
Right.
AEW, you're talking Raw at 1.8 and AEW at 1.4. It's becoming a battle.
And personally, I like AEW more right now than Raw, and that's disappointing for me. But
you got to stay home with the team. You got to stay home with the team,
that's
bro.
not the issue.
You got to stay home with the
The
team.
issue is that, you know, the show. I'm enjoying AEW more than Raw right now, but I still like SmackDown quite a bit. So
We lost
We're good.
we lost Chyna on April 20th, 2016.
Hmm.
Laura was found dead at her home in Redondo Beach, California. She was only 46 years old.
no good.
Final words?
No good. I wish that someone would have helped her, or I'm sure people tried. I've heard Vince Russo, you know, really heartbroken over her. You know, obviously certain people tried and cared about her very much. You know, I know X-Pac did care about her, despite their, you know, they had some problems. But the end of the day, I guess nobody could save Joni from herself. I mean, sometimes this just happens, you know. It wouldn't. I wish there was somebody to tell her how great she was and how much of an impact she had, and that she had done so many positive things, and she's put smiles on so many faces. And yeah, sometimes they just don't want to hear it. Some people just don't want to hear it, you know. And we lost a great one.
Well, when I married, you know, when I first married my wife, we got a dog, and we named the dog Chyna.
Nice. So there you go.
That is, to me, is what someone meant to me
Right.
as a wrestler,
Right.
and honestly as a human being.
Right.
To this day, I remain a fan of Chyna, and I wish that her demise wasn't that case. 802 Blues, before we go to commercial break. Raw is the worst wrestling show I watch.
It's rough.
I'm going to say no, sir.
What?
That is not the case. In
Really?
Monty's case,
What?
no.
You like Raw more than AEW right
Better
now?
than Impact.
Oh, it's better than Impact. Okay, well, you know.
And honestly, Raw's not
What are we
that bad.
saying?
Is it great? No.
No, it's not.
It's not great.
No.
Is it better than AEW Wednesday night?
I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
I don't think so.
But I will tell you, I think SmackDown is lights above every one of the shows
I'm
out there.
enjoying SmackDown. It's being well written. And they have to. They're dealing with Fox, you know.
All right, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
You need a body shop? You need engine repair? Auto Excellence, Collision Specialists, 631-261-6420. That's 631-261-6420. Auto Excellence.
The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah. And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh, only seen here at Indie Music TV. Before we get to our next subject, Pharaoh, one of our sponsors, TAG, T-A-G-G, is having a special event on May 23rd where they will be teaming up, we're calling it Tag Team, with Mr. USA Tony Atlas, and Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas, along with UWF superstar Sonny Beach, on May 23rd from 1 to 4 at 14 East Broadway in Port Jefferson Station. They created a painting, a one-of-a-kind painting, created by a New York artist whose work spans from Beverly Hills to East Hampton. It's valued at $3,500. Look at you with the whistle.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
I didn't know I could.
It's a one-of-a-kind painting. It's perfect for your man cave while you watch the WWE superstars perform. 100% of the raffle money of this painting is going to Tunnels to Towers. Tony Atlas will also be signing his amazing artwork. He'll also be signing limited edition prints, and along with Sonny Breach. So, again, if you don't live in New York, you can actually still buy that raffle, that one kind, and bid on it, right?
Nice,
And get this once of a life chance. And if you live in New York, come on down on May 23rd from 12 to 4 at 14 East Broadway in Port Jefferson, New York.
Nice.
Huh? I think I'm gonna try to get that auction. What do you think?
I think you better check with Mrs. M. She'll be like, how much is that painting, Mike?
But it's worth $3,500.
Dude, it's worth.
But you buy a raffle ticket for like $10.
Yeah.
But it's worth a shot.
That painting's insane.
It is insane. Totally agree.
I love it. It's worth every penny.
Well, Ronda Rousey's pregnant, so there goes that one.
What do you mean there goes that one?
Well, she ain't coming back.
What are you hoping to be the next, come here, Ronda. Help me, Rhonda. Help me.
Well, I'm going to be quite
Rhonda.
honest with you. Her husband looks like dog shit. Yeah, so I wish I could have gone.
What are you doing?
Come on, I'll fight him. Let's do it.
No, I wouldn't even fight Rhonda. What are you talking about? Rhonda would smoke us. What are you talking about? There's no way.
No, but
See, once
seriously.
again, equal opportunity. I don't care what's going on downstairs. Rhonda, me, ding ding, fight over. Somebody scrape me up. It's all over with, and I don't feel bad that I lost to her, and that's the way it goes.
And you're not so upset she's pregnant? She's not going to be coming back?
You know what?
Dude, look at her husband, man. Come on, really?
Let me tell you something.
Stop.
They really could use.
I'm better
Ronda
looking at that guy,
Rousey.
and I ain't good looking.
The company could use Ronda Rousey, man. They really could.
That one's over.
I know. She hates fans. She hates wrestling
Well,
fans.
after last week's
She's like,
release,
screw you guys, you assholes. You booed me. Fuck off. I could kick all of your asses. F you.
Wrestling
and
was
you
so
say
good, though.
I'm sensitive. Ronda was like the first time they booed Ronda.
She was
live.
so-
She's like, what the fuck?
it was so great with her, man.
It was. No, she was excellent. She was excellent.
Well,
she brought some realism.
After
I
all
liked
the
it.
releases last week, the big news revealed Chelsea Green
what?
revealed that every Monday night she would sit in front of Vince's office looking to speak to him, and that he had a no smoking sign, sign, but
he hates cigarettes, right?
but coffee and pencils were allowed.
This is your big news
That's the big news.
from the release that coffees and pencils are allowed. I thought you were going to let me talk about Tucker.
Go ahead.
Because I've always thought that Tucker was a steaming pile of nothingness. And when they put him with Otis, I said, remember what I said when they did the turn? And I said, get a good look at Tucker, because you'll never see him again. Otis is on his way. Bye-bye, Tucker. Tucker's gone.
Wait a minute. Hold
Tucker's
on.
bitching and complaining. He's calling Vince the old man, the senseless old man. Tucker, you sucked. And you're gone because you suck.
All right, wait a minute. Hold on, fans.
I'm
I
sorry.
want to tell everybody out there. I'm going
What?
to tell you a quick
Tucker
little.
was terrible.
I'm going to tell you a little quick story.
No,
Me and
factor.
Faro about 6 years ago, maybe it was 6 years ago, 5 years ago. I lost track. We went to some indie show.
Oh no.
And
Yeah.
the name of the indie, it was an Evolve event. I could
No,
care
it wasn't
less.
Evolve.
It was Evolve.
No, it wasn't Evolve.
Yes, it was.
What was that?
It was Evolve.
Oh my God.
It was a co-promotion between Evolve and
but
FT.
we left before
For the Evolve event.
The Evolve event.
But
McIntyre.
Drew
came out.
McIntyre came out, and I
Right.
said, "This guy sucks." And you go, "He's going to come back to the WWE and be
did.
big news."
I did.
And I said,
Yes, I did. Right, you laughed at him. He's
Right.
2 feet from
So
us, and I don't,
maybe
and
we
I
go to an indie show this year, and who's going to come out as Tucker? And you're gonna, and you're gonna go,
Wait a minute.
and I'm gonna go. No, he's gonna come
You're
back.
comparing Tucker to Drew McIntyre?
Why not?
Because you didn't see the magic in Drew McIntyre. I knew that was a main event guy. He was 2 feet away from us. It was so obvious.
He didn't look like a main event guy to me.
Yes, he did. He totally did. All these other fat, out of shape guys wearing sweater vests were coming out and rustling. And then this guy walks out there looking like Thor. What are you talking
Well,
about?
he was not built then. He looked like.
compared to everyone else on that card.
Yeah, but oh my God, it's an
Pajama Man.
indie show.
It's Pajama Man. Here he comes. Oh my God. Where did you escape from? Walmart? Horrible. That by the way, what about that indie show we went to at the water where I tried to jump in
the water.
to the water and you were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "This is the worst show ever. I'm jumping in the water." That was horrible. And then that guy's foot got caught on the ropes. Ah!
And he was crying.
And his girlfriend's yelling at him, "I told you not to wrestle!" That was the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. And we never went to another indie show again, ever!
and we never will ever again.
No. I don't want to
So
see Towel Man versus Washcloth.
the guy gets caught in the ropes, falls, shatters his leg.
Yeah.
He's screaming in pain, and his girlfriend's yelling at him,
Screaming at him.
"I told you not to be an independent."
Yeah, I
wrestler."
told you that this
This
stuff
is a true story.
Yeah, like with her fist over him, like some sort of internet,
he's crying like a
internet
baby.
keyboard asshole pushing a bad movie. That's what she was like. I told you not to. I told you not
Let
to
me ask you this.
wrestle.
Let me ask
What?
you this. That indie show or having to sit in front and watch 350 Days, which one are you going to choose?
I'm jumping in the water. I'm going right in the water. Can I take coffee in my pencils?
Let me ask
with
something. Do you
Can
think
I take my coffee in my
But
pencils?
let me ask you, do you think 350 Days is the worst wrestling documentary in the history of wrestling documentaries?
You know when?
I'm asking fans out there. Have you guys seen 350 Days? Tell us what you
What
think.
are you doing?
I want to know.
You know when the
I wanna know.
You know when the Stooges had Curly,
Yes.
and then they had Shemp, and you were like, all right, I'll deal with it. And then they had Joe.
Right.
Well, I guess we've just hit Joe level. If that's what you're
I
asking.
got it.
Oh, stop that! I'll give you such a pinch. No thanks. Don't give me a pinch. You know.
Well, I want to see what everybody thinks of 350 Days.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, your dreams are shattered.
Yeah.
CM Punk potentially returning to pro wrestling. Thought this 42-year-old
dreams.
veteran has completely shut down the thought of wrestling again. He has managed to stay away for 7 years.
Right.
Punk once again was asked if he thought about returning in a Sports Illustrated interview. He said, "I don't need the money, and the way the business is now, it's wacky. You've got a WWE has multi-billion-dollar television deals, and the television is awful. If I go back, I'll just be another guy.
Yeah. Punk's a wise man. He's right. Why would he go back right now? What's he going to do? Go save Monday Night Raw?
Oh, Russell Campbell says 350 days sucks.
Oh, really?
That's what he says.
Okay, so we
Ding! There's one.
There's one. Wait a minute. How do you feel about the 3?
Maria Davis says she didn't see it. All right, Maria, please watch it. That's your homework for this
I
weekend.
thought you liked Maria Davis.
I do like her.
Be careful, Maria. Be careful.
So anyway, CM Punk.
CM Punk, man. Like I said, I think he's smart. I think that he would only come back if there was something that was interesting and that would be entertaining and that would make sense. He has spoken about that the only thing that makes sense, and I agree with him, if he did come back, and you know what? He's been honest about it. He goes, look, there's only one thing everybody wants to see if I did come back. Me and that guy in the front office, Triple H, in the ring, WrestleMania. That's the only thing he can think of. He can't think of anything else that he would serve a purpose to do. You know? So to me, if you bring him back, you better make it count, and it better be a program like that.
Right.
You know? You don't bring back CM Punk to have a feud with Riddle. You know what I mean? Or to have a feud with Randy, or to have a feud. You bring him back, and you have this thing with Triple H go down.
That's over.
I think
Ain't
that
happening.
Imagine if it would have been at this WrestleMania this year. How do you think that WrestleMania would have done?
Would have been great.
Thank you.
But it's over. He ain't come back.
I still think he will. I think it'll be too irresistible within the next year or two. Too irresistible. He's going to do it.
Mickey James posted on his social media. She took a picture of all her goods that were returned by the WWE. It was in a garbage bag with a little tag or piece of tape that said Mickey. And
Okay.
she felt, Vince, this
Wait
is
a
how
minute.
you sent my stuff
Did
back.
you just say in a garbage bag?
In a garbage bag.
What did Mickey James do this time?
802 Blue says he was pissed he spent money on 350.
Really? Hey, could you guys do me a favor? Could you type in why? Like, state some reasons. Was it the music? Was it the flow of the picture? Was it lack of a gripping script? I mean, what was it? I want to know.
Good
what
question.
It was. You know, I'm curious.
Could have been the associate
Because I know
producer.
that people get up every single day and watch us and want to dissect
Anyway,
us.
back to Mickey James.
What?
Back to Mickey James.
So let us know. What?
So,
Yeah, go
Mickey,
ahead.
you got fired, and you're upset that they put your stuff in a garbage bag.
I would be pretty pissed off. Why
Dude,
why they treat
that's
me
like real life. You get fired from a job, and you leave your
And
shit in
they
your office.
put your
What are they supposed to
stuff
pack it
in
neatly
a-
and send it air freight to you?
In a garbage bag?
Yeah, here you go.
No,
Here's your
wait a
shit.
minute, wait a minute.
Here's your shit. See ya.
Wait a minute. and
You're
I'm not-
fired.
I'm not going to divulge too much, but I just want to let you folks know at home, and I think this is cool. Mr. Monty's office has an awesome comic book, life-size comic book thing of Spider-Man. You're going to let them put that in the garbage?
No, if I got fired, I'd pack it up and put it in my car, and I'd leave.
What if you didn't have time to get over there to do it? And you walk over
I'm
to,
sure
your,
when
to
Mickey
the front
got-
of your office and your Spider-Man thing's in the garbage.
I'm sure Mickey couldn't make it back to wherever she had her stuff.
By the way, where did she have her stuff? In Hartford,
Well,
Connecticut?
that's what I'm saying. The point is, she's
they
in
have, like, a
Florida.
central locker?
That's what I'm saying. No, she probably left it in her locker in whatever
so
the training
confused.
session is
Listen,
or whatever.
One way or the other. I don't think that's any way to let go of
Oh,
Mickey.
dude, that's the way it works.
That's the
Welcome
way-
to real world, Mickey James.
But that's so mean.
I mean, come on, dude. Fucking crybaby. Stop it already. Oh, my God.
Yeah, but Mickey's
Let me take a
cool.
picture and put it on social media. I'm upset they put my stuff in a garbage
Wait a
bag.
minute. How do you know Cena wasn't behind that? Hey, let's fuck with it one last time. How do you know?
That'd be awesome.
I bet you it was. Cena and Vince in the office. You know, it'd be funny if we took Mickey's stuff and threw it in
Hey,
the
hey,
garbage
Vince.
bag.
Hey, Vince. You know,
can't see
hey,
us.
Vince. You know what? You know what you can't see? What's that, John?
Mickey's
Mickey James's outfits, because I'm putting them in a garbage bag and sending them.
Ah, you're a riot, John! Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see them acting like
We'll be right back to discuss the Stone Cold documentary that was on A&E this Sunday.
What?
Jimmy, I gotta take a dump. What? No, I mean I need a dumpster.
Well, for all those needs, you need to call Big V Dumpster Rental, Long Island, New York, 631-900-DUMP. Elm Logistics, for all your logistic needs, call 631-299-3595. That's 631-299-3595. Elm Global Logistics, pride, performance, and partnerships. Jeff Quest, graphics design, custom vinyl lettering, and all your art and video needs. 516-317-8204. That's for Jeff Quest Graphic Design.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestler and broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh, only seen here at Indie Music TV. Before we get to the Stone Cold documentary, I just want to read some comments. 802 Blues on 350 Days.
Okay.
I knew all the wrestlers in and had seen most of them when I was young. It was built up to be this great doc with real wrestlers, real stories, but it was just dull.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Just logged on, and believe it or not. Oh, wait a minute, Brian Hacker. I love this one. You ready?
Go ahead.
Just logged on, and believe it or not, I need a dumpster.
What?
The dumpster for 350 days.
Oh my God! Really?
Dude, the music is terrible in that thing. It's a bunch of shoot interviews combined together.
Right.
I mean, Monty and the Pharaoh are going to come out with a documentary called 264 Days. And we're gonna take all our interviews with the wrestlers, and we're gonna have some Wisteria Hall music behind it.
No, why not?
Why not?
Why not? I think it would be interesting. It'd be more interesting than watching a snail take a dump.
By the way, before we talk about the Austin documentary, Russell Campbell goes, I know it's a week after, but is anyone pissed off about the Charlotte Prego debacle? So WWE said, hey, your hormones came back or your blood test came back, you're pregnant.
Yeah. And
then she went and got tested, she wasn't pregnant.
Okay. Well, why would I be angry about that? I guess stuff happens in a lab. I don't know. I don't know the details behind it. They made a mistake.
There's a lot of false
So what
positives.
does that mean? Was that the reason why Charlotte wasn't at WrestleMania?
One of the reasons, Jeff, from what I
Okay.
understand.
I mean, I guess things happen in the lab. I don't know. I really don't have much of an answer other than
Shit
that.
happens, man. You know
Guess
what?
so.
Nothing's perfect.
I love Charlotte's promo that she did a couple of weeks back, where she was like, "I am the opportunity."
Well,
You're
without a
just
doubt.
a bunch of jealous bitches.
No, she's the
you know?
she is
And
the
by
man.
the way, she's in that room too already.
Oh,
The great
without a
Charlotte,
doubt.
the great Charlotte Flair.
Amen.
She's great.
So A&E put out the Stone Cold documentary. I know you didn't watch
I
it.
didn't get to see it.
I'll give you my quick
Gotta
analysis.
be great.
It was pretty much the beginning of his career to the end of his career.
You mean it didn't have clips of him at the barbecue? You know, just barbecuing or starting his car, or
They did, yeah. They showed us cars.
did all of that.
A couple of things I got from the documentary. One, I want you to weigh in on this. He flat out said that he made a decision that his wrestling career was more important than his children,
Wow. Okay.
and that he had a strained relationship because of it.
Sure.
He said he was an absentee father. He would come home for 2 days and sit there and barbecue steaks, drink beer, and talk about wrestling, and then
then
go
leave.
back on the road.
Right.
And
Similar to Flair.
Paul Heyman
Sounds like.
in the documentary says the price of greatness,
Yeah.
where you have to sacrifice that.
Yeah.
Selfish?
Not for me to say. I refuse.
Why?
Because I'm not in his position. I didn't ascertain certain levels of his life. I didn't live his life. I can never blame somebody if they decide to go that way. How can I do that? I can't. I don't hold anything.
Heyman pretty much said it took balls to choose wrestling over your family.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure.
And
it
I mean,
did.
I understand that's a price of greatness. I get
You
it.
know how many great musicians have done that too? John Lennon had a wife when the Beatles made it big. He had just gotten married too, and Brian Epstein was like, "Don't tell anybody." He said he's like, "Don't let the world know you're married." You know. So John's first marriage was doomed on a business level from
So
day
let me
one.
ask you this.
What, was he going to turn around and walk away from the
You know,
Beatles?
okay, but you know I'm a Stone Cold fan.
Yeah.
Then keep your penis in your pants and don't have children.
I don't think he knew he was going to become Stone Cold.
Oh, so when he wasn't Stone Cold, it was okay to be the
I'm
father.
not saying that.
So
I'm
then
not
keep your
saying that.
penis in your pants.
Right. Keep your penis in your pants. Or at least be the master of my program, the PP program. Pull and pray. Don't you know how to pull and pray?
Right.
What is wrong with you?
I
anyone
agree.
should know how to
Pull
pull
and pray. I like it.
You don't leave it in there.
I like it.
The last thing I want to see is another Pharaoh. Now we got 3 P's. Pull, pray, Pharaoh. No,
I like it.
No, dear.
No, but I legitimately mean that. I mean, his first wife, who came up with Jen, what was her name?
I
The
can't remember.
English girl, but
I'm
anybody
sorry,
remembers the name
okay.
out there, I'm sorry. She comes up with the name. Once he becomes popular, he's on the road, and he dumps her
I can't.
for Deborah McMichael.
Yeah.
A lot of weaknesses in that guy's game.
So what?
And it was a great documentary. We're all weak. I get
That's
it.
what I'm saying. Oh, here comes Deborah. What did she look like? I don't know what the first one looked like. All of a sudden, Deborah shows up.
She was pretty good
Hi!
looking.
Oh, you got Jerry Lawler. Puppies! I mean, what are we... What? I don't know. I can't.
Wow.
I can't
Wow.
judge him. I can't. I refuse to judge him. I don't know what, his
Russell
deal was.
Campbell, great comment. We only get one life. Who are we to say what dreams we follow and who we leave behind to follow those dreams? That's a tough one, though. Great
is
point,
tough.
Russell. But my whole point is, don't bring children on this planet then.
I tell you what, too.
If you
also-
knew you were going to be this great wrestler.
Also, one other thing, coming from the other side of it, coming from the female side of it, the wife who has the child, understand who you're dating.
Jeannie Clark, thank you, 802.
Understand who you're dating and who you're eventually marrying. Like, for example, I always found it hilarious that Gene Simmons has been with the same woman for decades. Then he eventually did marry her, but she gets mad at him for the road.
Dude, that's a shtick. That's a shtick.
But don't
It's a
you know
shtick.
how the guy lives, though? I mean,
that's a shtick.
All I'm saying is, shtick or not, they've had plenty of fights. There's been even divorce threats and money and all this other stuff. You know what you're getting into. Did she really think that Stone Cold was going to be like Bob Backlund? Bob Backlund is a stand-up guy.
Right.
Bob Backlund stayed with his love.
Right.
I think her name was Corky.
Yeah.
I think he stayed with Corky since day one.
It's a great point, Farrell.
But that's Bob Backlund. That was the life he chose to live. You got to know who you're living with and who you're dating.
Brian Hacker says out there, Charlotte is great, but the plastic surgery has got awful.
It's starting to freak me out.
It is out of control,
It's
Brian.
starting to freak
This
me
was a
out.
beautiful woman,
Yeah, I
and she
don't
is
know what's-
screwing herself up.
And you know what's really weird?
Because you know what? Because it's these keyboard trolls that are making her do this because they're
Wait a
shaming
minute,
her
wait.
left
Okay,
and right.
I'll go-
It's terrible.
I'll go with you on all of that. I agree with that, but nobody's making her do it. Why is she doing this to herself?
Because
Somebody throw some sense into her.
she's feeling the pressure. This is someone who wants to be great.
But she also sees her father probably still getting this stuff to himself done.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
He's still trying to look like he's 50.
And maybe I'm going too far with this.
What?
We lost Chyna.
Yeah.
For probably a multiple amount of reasons of people attacking her for the way she
Right.
looked.
I don't think Charlotte's
You
gonna
want to
see
do that to Charlotte Flair? Think
No,
about what you do
please.
out there,
Oh,
people.
my God.
Anyway, next Sunday you've got the documentary of Roddy Piper. Excited for that?
If I can see it. I haven't been able to see much lately, but it sounds like it's going to be fantastic. It sounds like it's going to be great. Judging by what you said about this documentary, A&E does things good, though.
I am excited,
They
man.
always did things well.
And the music's good.
Everything about what
And
they
the
do is
story
good.
that they produce is good.
And it moves.
And it moves.
And it doesn't make you want to reach for NyQuil. And put your hat on forwards. And hit the table in disgust as you pass out.
After these documentaries, dude, they have something right, called WWE's Most Wanted Treasure. Dude, I got to tell you, they go to these nerd collectors to get this stuff for their museum. Mick Foley is negotiating cheap prices to get his stuff back. Now look, we've dealt with Mick Foley. That guy will take you over the will take you over the coals, that dude. Okay?
I
And
know you haven't even attempted to bother with such said subjects.
that motherfucker will rip you
Really?
apart.
Oh my God, I can't. I remember it was hard enough.
But dude, I never thought there were nerds out there to put that shit in
Dude,
there.
I
Dude, it's unbelievable.
Dude, we
No, dude, hold on. Foley goes to this guy's house.
Yeah.
He's got this like mint green, the guy that has Foley's Mr. Sacco, right?
Okay.
He has this mint green like Corvette, and he has this museum, right? Full of artifacts,
in his
Mr.
house.
Perfect stuff. Yeah, Macho
In his
Man's
house.
unbelievable.
Okay.
Right?
That's nice.
And then he works out a deal with Mick Foley that he gives him the sock, but then he's gonna have to like hang out with his kids.
Poor Mick.
So he calls his wife, and it
get
must
his
be his
sock back.
ex-wife. Okay. Guess who's here? Mick Foley. Bring the kids over.
That's great.
The kids look like they haven't had a bath in 10 days.
Oh, come on, man. You're killing
I'm
me.
being
man.
serious.
You're killing me.
So he's got all his wrestling gear, but feed your kids? No. Ain't gonna pay my alimony. Ain't
Wait a
gonna pay
minute,
for
though.
my
Why
kids.
didn't he give them WWE soap? They have soap bars. Why didn't he just give them? It's in the museum. It's on the third shelf in his house. Should have just given them the WWE. They could have taken a bath. What? And he doesn't feed them? You have WWE ice cream bars.
The kids look like they haven't had a sandwich in
But
10
he's
days.
got everything in the museum. He's got the food.
Give
The
me
WWF ice cream
you're
bar.
right.
You take a shower. Here's the
No,
WWE
he's not giving
soap
up the ice
bar.
cream bars, dude. That's his
Oh,
museum.
Wait a second. Those ice cream bars aren't open. They're worth a fortune.
That's right.
Starve, kid. Interesting. Very. Daddy's weird. He starts beating them with the belts. You know, like the title belts, like setting them over the head. I hope Dad doesn't use that fold-up chair from the Attitude Era on us again. What? Bang! Oh my God!
Then he goes.
Every time he comes home, dun, 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 dun,
Then
the glass crashes.
Did you know there were only 2 Mankind shirts ever around?
Really?
And one guy had it, and he wouldn't give it up. But eventually he gives it up because he gets to go see the WWE warehouse, and they make an exchange, and he gets the Royal Rumble barbed wire bat in exchange.
Wow. You know what I want?
What?
I want the turnbuckle that Pat Patterson kicked off of during the Cobra Clutch Challenge.
Wow.
I want that.
They might have
turnbuckle.
that.
Does he have it? How much is it?
You would love that.
Can you
Chuck.
get Foley to buy it for me? No? I guess I
don't
should
know.
just have a nice day and forget about it?
You're killing me.
Thanks, Mick.
It's been reported that the WWE lied on its attendance for WrestleMania. The terms of ticket sales were noted that night 1 only drew 20,000, and the night 2 another 20,000, even though they announced it was 25,000.
lied. I knew it!
All right, last before we cut out.
What?
I can't stand Bianca Belair.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Someone cut that girl's hair off.
neither can I.
I can't stand it.
She is a horrible promo. I will say that. She's an excellent wrestler, but I don't care because she has no it factor to me. Her promos are terrible. My God, I still can't shake that time she was crying. I'd rather watch Stan Laurel cry all day than watch her cry for 1 minute. I couldn't take that. She has zero it factor. Her promos are horrendous. And this is what Luke gets.
That's why I love you, man. We always agree on everything.
This is what gets to beat Sasha Banks, who actually does have it factor.
Well, I don't think it will be long.
No, I don't think it'll be long either. This is going to fail.
Oh, yeah, before we cut out, I'm sorry. Where are all the internet police? While we were gone, Evilise doesn't know what sparked her release from AEW, claims Thunder Rosa damaged her position, and my question to you is, where's brand manager Brandy Rose? Why is she jumping in,
Actually, one of her bigger charges is that the coaching staff didn't treat her well. She was getting at, she was abused somewhat by the actual trainers. Evilise, who anybody doesn't know, if you ever saw her on Lucha Underground, you'll know what kind of fan I am of Evilise. Evilise is great. And if I was the WWE, I would grab her in a second. Evilise is excellent. So the fact that one of the best women wrestlers, in my opinion, on the planet was treated this way, and not a single internet fanboy for the internet indie guys.
Don't use that word fanboy, dude. I hate that.
Yeah, I know.
Hate that.
But I've been
hate
hearing
that.
it lately from very obnoxious people, so I just figured I'd throw it back at them. And, it's the truth, though. It's very obnoxious, and I'm amazed that none of them have an issue with this. If Vince McMahon did this to one of the women wrestlers, my God, we would never hear the end of this, So now she's basically floating out there, and I hope that Vince gives her a shot. I hope that he gives her a shot. She's a great, great wrestler.
I want to remind everybody this Sunday at 9 a.m. we've got Hands of Stone, Rugged, Ronnie Garvin in studio from 9 to 10.
Nice.
And then back to back, from 10 to 11, we've got the Rock and Roll Express. Guys, get up early, get your coffee. It's going to be a fun time. We look forward to seeing you out there. Get your questions. We want to thank everybody coming back for our return show. We missed you guys for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you didn't know it, you're watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty DeFaro. You can catch us on the Monty DeFaro YouTube page, the Monty DeFaro Facebook Live page. Hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor. Catch us on New York Cable, channel 115 every Tuesday from 7 to 7:30, and for early risers on Saturday, 6:30 to 7 a.m., and in a few hours from Channel 20 from 1:30 to 2 a.m. Again, a reminder, Sunday at 9 a.m., Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin, along with 10 a.m., the Rock and Roll Express. Parting words, Mr. Jimmy Farrow.
I'd just like to say it's nice to be back, and I'm glad that you're in one piece and healthy. So thank you, God, for that. And thanks to all the fans. It's great to be back in your living rooms and providing you with our weekly madness. So thanks for everybody sticking in and coming back to see us again.
And I want a few things for homework for everybody out there. Maria Davis, go get 350 days. I want your review of that.
Okay.
All right, don't buy it. It's free on Amazon.
You are so bad. Oh, my God, Ram.
Russell Campbell, we missed you. Todd Becraft, we missed you. We missed
802.
802. We missed you, man.
802.
Brian Hacker, Rock and Roll Express. We're gonna have a great time on Sunday.
Great comment earlier,
All right,
Brian.
final words, Pharaoh. What did you learn from this week's episode of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast? Your biggest take home.
My biggest take home. Wow. It's just good to be back, and it's good to be able to watch something interesting on YouTube again. Because I'm tired of being put to sleep by the same polite interviewers over and over.
And 802
over
Blue
again.
says his favorite moments was, did you escape from Walmart?
Did I?
No, just in general.
You know what? I actually did this past week. I walked in and the lines were so long, I thought I was there to see Godzilla vs. Kong. I left.
Man,
What?
I can't. All right, thanks for joining us. We'll see you Sunday, 9 a.m. Hands of Stone, Rugged Ronnie Garvin, 10 a.m. Rock and Roll Express. See you soon, everybody.
Later.